How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be playing this Maria Hill pool deck against Baron Zemo on Heroic difficulty, as I try to beat every scenario in the game on Heroic difficulty using a different hero on my channel. This will be the first video I'm posting in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box, so usually I like to use heroes from the same wave as well, and kind of this mini goal of using heroes from the same wave against the different scenarios, and using each aspect at least once in the wave. In order to do that, I generally have to wait until the whole wave is released to start picking those matchups and choosing them optimally. We're at a point now where we've seen all but one hero left to be revealed in the wave. I still want to capitalize on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not coming out that long ago, so it's still pretty fresh, and I think people will be interested to see these games. So it won't be in order of these videos of going from scenario 1 to scenario 5. And in fact, I'm starting all the way at the back here with Maria Hill versus Baron Zemo. But I still think I have enough information to make some good matchups. And in fact, if you've seen the Falcon reveal article, Falcon is gonna be a silver bullet against the Black Widow scenario. So I'm definitely going to save him for her. But anyways, let's talk about this Maria Hill pool deck. So pool is a nice choice for Maria. Her kit centers around these super crazy high value shield supports, these helicarriers. So the Iliad is the one that comes with her set. The Pericles is one that I'm adding as well for her. And pool gives us these triple resource cards that triple their resources if we've sustained no damage. So it's a great way to get out to a nice early start, allowing us to play hopefully one of these supports, as well as maybe another card or two, because we have so many resources in our opening hand. The other thing I like about pool is for this matchup against Baron Zemo, we want to be spending lots of double resources to remove secret counters from the board member environments. So we're pretty resource rich, but the scenario has a built-in resource sink. So even if these are only producing doubles, they're still incredibly valuable to be spent to remove counters from those board member environments. So I like the pairing there with helping Maria play her super expensive cards and pairing up against the scenario well. It's also kind of just funny with Maria Hill because she can include up to the max number of copies of 3 shield supports other than our chosen aspect. So we can still kind of do the staple Maria Hill thing, playing 3 copies of Field Agent, 3 copies of Command Team. So it gives us plenty of counters to move on to our super high value use shield supports. But they're not pool, but I can still play them for Maria Hill. So it's all just working nicely together here. Got a handful of other shield supports here: Sky Destroyer, Helicarrier, Government Liaison. These 2 are nice resource generators. Even though we're super resource rich already, like I said, a lot of that can go towards those board member environments. So I really don't think it'll be too much of an issue of us having too many resources on any given turn. Smattering of allies as well, one kind of neat combo. I want to play Command Team anyways in order to have counters for us to use, but the pool allies take no consequential damage. So Command Team on a pool ally is a little bit better than it normally is on allies that do take consequential damage. On top of that, we've got Professor X and Nick Fury Sr., who usually waste their second point of health, so Command Team can help us squeeze a little extra value out of them as well. Agent 13, obviously a really important ally for Maria Hill after she attacks or thwarts, ready a shield support. So this can help us just get more resources by readying Helicarrier or Government Liaison, or it can get us really good tempo with the Iliad to use it multiple times in the same turn. Generally, how I'm going to play this deck is I'm going to go get the Pericles turn 1 with Maria Hill's Exhaust ability. And the Pericles is going to be really crucial for this matchup. Zemo starts the game not steady or stalwart, so we can keep him pinned down pretty much every turn. And then we'll get a bunch of these vulnerable minions that we really want to apply statuses to in order to discard them rather than suffer their when defeated effects. So Pericles is really nice to have a extremely efficient answer to those as well. So if we make it back down as we're flipping back and forth on the various turns, we might still get Iliad on maybe the third turn of or I guess the second turn of the game as we flip back down. We'll see if we have a window to do that to get both of these powerful cards out there. But yeah, once we're set up with that, Maria Hill is an extremely high value generating character, right? Bringing counters into play with these cheaper cards, but then being able to move the counters on these extremely high value activations just represents a tremendous amount of value overall. We've got the Shield Director that can keep putting counters on. Nick Fury ally can keep putting counters on. And then eventually by the mid to late game, All Points Bulletin is really a banger of a card. Because let's see, we're playing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different shield supports. So this could do up to 11 damage or remove 11 threat from schemes. So once we kind of make it a few turns, I think we'll be in a pretty good position overall, and a pretty safe position. But it can be getting to that state that's a little more challenging because an early caught off guard can really mess with us, or especially in the Zemo scenario with the board member environments can ruin our plans. So anyways, there's the deck. It's generally it's kind of about halfway tuned to the scenario because I'm being very resource rich, but there's not like a specific card that's like a silver bullet for this scenario. It's kind of just an alignment of the archetype versus the scenario. So I think this deck would be very capable in other places as well, and I might keep it around to give it a try because these triple resources on the 6 cost supports is a really fun way to do it. So there we go. There's the Maria Hill deck. Let's talk about the Zemo scenario a little bit. So I want to talk about the Baron Zemo scenario a bit, just in case you're unfamiliar with it or you want some tips for how to strategize against it. I've got all the cards laid out here if you want to read them. As of now, I don't believe you can actually find these online. They haven't been posted on Marvel CDB or on Hall of Heroes. There's every unboxing video I've seen, there's unboxing videos that just stop before they get to Baron Zemo. What are you doing? So anyways, if you want to take a look at the Baron Zemo cards there, you can. And it's a very unique scenario. I really like it a lot. But we start by preparing the evidence. And if you've done the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. campaign, then this is what you do for the campaign as well. But for the scenario, we also do it, although there's just a little bit of a difference. But we have these nine different evidence cards. There's 3 each of 3 different types. And at the start of the game, we pick one of each to put in this envelope, and then we put the rest in the shield envelope. And at a certain point in the game, we'll need to identify which 3 are in the aim envelope in order to progress, or in order to not suffer too bad of a negative consequence on the other side of that step. So we start with Baron Zemo in this form, in his Thunderbolt form, his not unmasked form. Start him on side B1. And then on the main scheme, it gives us an opportunity after the player phase ends. We can put 2 secret counters on a board member environment that has no secret counters on it to gain 2 cards from the shield envelope, but 1 if we were doing campaign mode. Then we may advance to stage 2A to make our accusation. So, okay, a lot of words there that I didn't introduce yet. We have these board members: Chief Surveillance Officer, Chief Medical Officer, Chief Tactical Officer. And these are all going to start the game with 2 secret counters in play. Note that if they ever get to 3 counters, we need to flip these cards. And we lose the game if they all 3 get flipped. So we start in a pretty precarious situation with 2 secret counters on each one. But they all have a hero action that gives us some mechanism for removing counters from them, whether it's mental, or it can be 2 mentals, 2 energy, or 2 physical. And then we get some little ability as well. Remove a secret counter from here, then deal 2 damage to an enemy, or heal from a friendly character, or remove 2 threat from a scheme. So this is one of the things we need to manage throughout the game, because like I said, if those flip, not only does all 3 flipping lose us the game, but they give the villain some kind of benefit once we flip over. So either +1 attack or +1 scheme and some extra ability. So as we stabilize and get ready to start triggering this response on the main scheme, we need to be removing some counters from here as well, so that when we want to draw cards from the envelope, we've got someone who we can put, so we can put two secret counters on without being too worried about, immediately losing because we draw some encounter card that puts more counters on those guys. So eventually we'll do that 3 times to get all 6 cards. You can go earlier, but it's really bad if you do. So then we make our guess, we make our accusation. So we guess the 3 cards that are in the AIM envelope, and then the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. book gives you this chart here, so that'll correspond the 3 cards to one of those board members, and so that is the mole. And so when you identify that, you go to stage 3, and notably, if you guessed any of the cards wrong, you place 1 secret counter on each board member, and then if you accuse the wrong board member, you place 3 counters on whoever you accused. So that 3 is going to automatically flip it. But for getting guesses wrong, we get additional counters, and that just leaves us very, very precarious, if not just losing the game on the spot as we go into stage 3. Now, stage 3, we flip Baron Zemo, who at this point has not been steady or stalwart. We flip him to the unmasked side, where he does become steady. And then, since this accusation, it all happens at the end of the player phase. That means that the villain phase starts now with new Zemo, who has this brutal ability. Whenever he activates, either place 2 secret counters on a board member card, and it's very likely that that's just not even something you can do without flipping a card. So that's very rarely what we want to choose. Or give Baron Zemo an additional boost card for this activation. So if he's attacking, usually that's okay, because we can block or have a tough status, and so that extra boost card doesn't really mean anything. But if he ever has to scheme, 2 boost cards is crazy to give to a scheme that's already at 4, and so we might be forced to put secret counters on in that case. We also attach this sword to him, which gives him +2 attack. After he attacks and defeats a character, place a secret counter on a board member environment. So that can be pretty rough as well. So we need to be really, really in a good position before we flip to this stage. Hope maybe have a tough status to take an attack here, or even if we have an ally to block with, we're going to have to put a secret counter on a board member environment. So, right, we really want to have these as few counters as possible when we make that accusation. And if we're wrong about anything, right, it gets even worse. We might not have any margin at all, to draw something that puts more counters on during the villain phase. All right, so the rest of the encounter cards here are there's a lot of really interesting cards. So Reluctant Foe is kind of a crazy one. We attach a hero from outside of the game to this card and treat it as a minion. Very, very interesting design there. So I've got a hero picked out who I'll wait to show when it comes up. A couple ways you could do this. I think doing this randomly is kind of a good way to do it. If you were really trying to game it, you could get Quicksilver. I think he's the easiest one. He's got 1/1 stats and 9 health, so he's like as low statted as you can possibly be. So if you're trying to really optimize, just go get Quicksilver. But you can do random or just pick your favorite. Maybe just do Captain Marvel because she's on the art, something like that. This is definitely a card to watch out for, S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent. And any means of adding additional secret counters to the board members is something to be wary of. So S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent's got Quick Strike. When she activates or is defeated, add a secret counter to the board member with the fewest secret counters. So with Quick Strike, if we're in hero form, that's going to make her activate right away, which will put a counter on. She's also got Vulnerable, So first example of a vulnerable minion here. So Pericles, very important to get in play so it can discard these. And when a vulnerable minion is discarded from getting a status, they are not considered to be defeated. So we don't have to trigger these when defeated abilities. I'll just jump real quickly over to the other minions in this set. Every single minion in this encounter has vulnerable. So all just goes to stress how important that is. Whereas attacking minions, really not what we want to do, because like these have a pretty bad when defeated ability there. And then these guys will go into the victory display, which I'll get into that in a second. Battle of Wits gives Zemo another scheme. Other extra activations always important to watch out for. Gives us a mechanism to spend mental resources to prevent threat and remove that many counters from board member environments. So that can actually be actively beneficial to us, even though Zemo scheming is usually pretty rough. Ends justify the means. We either defeat a minion with the fewest remaining hit points and Zemo schemes, or discard an ally or support you control to remove secret counters from among board member environments equal to the discarded card's printed resource cost. So that option actually kind of reads like it helps us, right? If we discard like a command team and remove two secret counters, like that actually maybe actively benefits us. But one thing to note, at least for this matchup, this is another card that could steal the Pericles or the Iliad out right from under us if we don't have a backup ally or support to discard. So especially like on turn 1 where we might not have that, this is a card to be very wary of. Might Makes Right, either in alter ego form, places 2 secret counters on the board member environment with the fewest. So that's a way to just automatically put counters on in a way that we can't prevent. So if that happens very early in the game, that can be pretty rough. In hero form, it's not so bad. Zemo attacks, and then if no character takes damage, we remove 3 secret counters. So that's actually another beneficial thing. Generally, that's only going to happen with a tough status in this matchup. If you had a high enough defense and you can defend an attack and take no damage, that would also happen. We've also got the life-size decoy that could prevent damage there. But 3 secret counters, like that's a crazy amount to remove. So if we ever leave an opportunity to trigger that would be a massive turning point in the game. A couple of side schemes here come in with 4 threat, just the right amount to get cleared by the Iliad. When defeated, remove a secret counter from a board member environment. So very nice there. I'm using the recommended modular sets here. So Shield, this is one where it's kind of brutal for Maria Hill, but I didn't want to be too guilty of lowering the scenario difficulty for myself. So we've got these vulnerable minions, which these parts are easy, but there's this really nasty side scheme, Disavowed. When revealed, it gets 1 extra threat for each shield card in play. And like every card in my deck is a shield card. The allies become shield when they're in play thanks to Maria's ability. So that can be easily like a 10 threat side scheme depending on when we draw it. Scientist Supreme is pretty easy. Again, just because we've got ways to discard, if we've got ways to discard these minions due to the vulnerable keyword, that pretty much neutralizes the whole thing. The other cards get worse if there's minions if these minions get into the victory display, which is where they would go if we just defeated them normally. So definitely want to discard them with the statuses instead. And then last card to talk about, sorry, going on a bit longer here, but this is a brand new scenario to maybe many of you, and a very complicated one at that. So you could always have skipped this if you didn't want to sit through it. But anyways, we've got the aim interference treacheries. So these are more ways to add secret counters to the board member cards. There's 1 for each different resource type. So the card adds 1 to each unless we spend, or we can spend any number of that type of resource to prevent some of them from being placed. So it's kind of neutral with spending resources to remove them this way, because if we let the counters get on, we need to spend 2 resources to remove it, but then we get some benefit that's worth about 1 resource of value. So it's not like it's that much more resource efficient to spend resources this way to prevent the counters. But in general, right, a lot of the time, one of these might be at 2 or something. And if you don't want it to flip, then you need to spend a resource to stop it from flipping. And it's pretty brutal as well if we draw this as a boost, because then we resolve that when revealed ability. Hopefully this game, we keep Baron Zemo nice and stunned and confused up, so he doesn't draw very many boost cards against us. But yeah, pretty nasty if we do that. Okay, so yeah, general strategy, like I said, really nice to remove counters from here. If we can remove one counter, then we'll be playing around Shield Agent a little bit, assuming we're going into hero form. If we want to play around Might Makes Right in Alter Ego form, we want to make sure we've got one down all the way to 0. So if we've got a chance, say there's like 1 on 2 of them and 2 counters on 1, and we've got a chance to remove 1, we might want to remove one of the ones at 1 down to 0 so that Might Makes Right can bring it up to 2. Whereas if we bring it all down to 1, 1, 1, this is going to flip one of them. So that's one of the things to keep an eye on as you're going. And then obviously, or you can jump to unmasked Zemo before you perfectly know what's in the envelope, but I definitely will not be doing that because just everything can go wrong if you make the wrong guess there. But I would be very safe and built up when you do that. Have these reduced as much as you can, even if you just got to stall a turn or two to wait to advance and make the accusation. Just give yourself an ally or two to block with. Clear these counters so you've got some wiggle room if the villain phase is a disaster. Pretty hard overall. Hopefully we get a good start with our expensive, or with our multi-resource generators, and can get a couple things out to get off to a good start. I got the Crisis of Infinite Deadpools in there since we are playing with the pool aspect. All right, let's check out the game. All right, opening hand. One double resource. And let's try to find more multi-resource cards. Okay. So with 2 doubles, once I get Pericles, I've got 2 resources left over. So that's not going to be enough to play anything here. Wow, this is a weird hand because I'm really going to miss a lot of these cards. So if I make a little delay, like playing Professor X would be really strong this turn, just as a thing to do. I could play like Professor X, do at least one of these. Or I just do the Pericles. I'm just going to do the Pericles, I think. Yeah, let's just stick to the plan. Okay, exhaust. Okay, spend 6 for the Pericles. It comes in with 3 counters because I used special funding. go to hero form, spend 2 mentals to remove a counter from here, and remove 2 threat from a scheme. So if I want to use the Pericles, it would be pretty inefficient because there's no ally or minion, but it might be the kind of tempo I need right now anyways. I could, in theory, take 2 attacks and survive. Be nice to keep a high health total for my pool resources anyways. I think I'm going to use it. And so we'll stun Baron Zemo. Obviously better than giving me a tough, because then we avoid any boost effects. So end the turn. All right, 2 threat on the main scheme. Zemo is stunned. 2 encounter cards. Under fire probably does it. All right, we're going to scoop this one up and try again. Let's try again. Here's support staff, so that is something I'm interested in keeping. Obviously the double. And let's send everyone else back. Okay, there's a triple. Though I don't know if that really lets me do anything else. There's 6 for Pericles. Oh, I guess it lets me, oh yeah, it lets me do one of these, which is perfect. So we'll go find Pericles. Don't have any way to do 2 mentals. So I think I'll do 2 physicals. All right, pay 6 for the Pericles. Self-confidence tripling its resources. Pay 1 for support staff. Okay. I think I'm gonna need to switch to dice pretty soon. Go to hero form. Physical, physical. To remove a counter from here. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. And I think this time I might save the Pericles. It's obviously a higher upside play to not do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. Oh, and should I move 1 counter right now? Just in case I have to discard this. I'm gonna move a counter. I could always move it back if I really wanted it. Okay, then end the turn. All right, 2 threat on the main scheme. Zemo attacks. I'm gonna take it. 2 plus 2 gains 1 for each aim minion in the victory display, but there's none. Take 4 damage and 2 encounter cards. Shield Trooper. Okay, Pericles is going to be really nice there. And unfortunately, though, the crisis of infinite dead pools. My least favorite part about the pool aspect. I absolutely didn't need this kind of nerf to it. But there we go. At least we don't have any pink cards yet, so This is just going to be 2 threat. Okay, and back to me. So I can play a 3-cost card plus get rid of another counter. Let's use the Pericles. We're going to confuse Zemo and stun the Shield Trooper, which is vulnerable, so it will be discarded. So I'm thinking, well, either Helicarrier or Sky Destroyer. Well, I could play, actually, if I didn't do this, I could play Helicarrier plus one of these 2-cost cards. That's probably what I need to do. An ally always looks good. Probably not beating Dreadpool this turn. Probably losing to advance. But can always play around that. Okay, 3 for Helicarrier. One, 2 for Machine Man. Have Maria clear this. Maybe I don't even need to clear that. Just hit the main scheme. Put the main scheme for 3, it'll go to 1, to 3, 4, 5. Advance is 9, 10 plus a boost. Because this doesn't really matter on, the Amplify doesn't really matter on attacks. So if I just need to not get hit with advance this turn anyways, I could wait a little bit. Don't quite think I want to recover. I'm just gonna hit this. And then Machine Man, port for 1. Because why not? And then flip down, end the turn. So I'm going to put 4 on the main scheme. From 1, 2, 3, 4. Zemo's confused. 2 encounter cards. There's a scheme for the game. Let's try again. That mode. Alright, try again. Okay, no doubles. Did get tic-tac-toe, which is that one form of caught off guard protection. So I actually am going to keep that. And mulligan 5. Okay, this feels like I've had pretty bad luck both these games with my multiple resources, because there's 8 in the deck, and I just saw 1 in 10 cards, or 11 cards. Alright, so let's go find Pericles. I still think the Pericles is better to get than the Iliad. Being able to discard those vulnerable minions is crazy strong. Maybe I'm just supposed to like stay in alter ego form and use the Pericles to confuse turn 1, especially if I'm not doing any of these. I'll pay 6 for Pericles. Comes in with 2 counters. And then play tic-tac-toe. Yeah, I don't think it's that crazy to do. Leaves all my resources to be triples if I don't take any damage. Could possibly not confuse at all, which doesn't play around advance, obviously, but leaves a higher upside for value. I think I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try waiting. Might blow up in my face right away again, but we don't make decisions for the lowest chance to win immediately. We make chances for the highest chance to win overall. 2 on the main scheme. Zemo schemes for 4 plus 1 is 5. Up to 9. 2 encounter cards. So there we go. Game number 4. Once we get over this little hurdle, I think Maria Hill has definitely got what it takes to go the distance. Well, very weird hand here in that I drew both of these. So I will be mulliganing one of them as we look for multi-resource cards. And this is, okay, I was about to say this is unbelievable that I am so allergic to these multi-resource cards. So I can go get, I did get 1 double resource, so I can go get support staff. Play support staff, and then pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Pericles. And find myself in a familiar decision point as last time, and I'm going to stick to my guns and not confuse again. Oh, this would have been such a good hand to draw the Iliad for. Okay, 2 threat on the main scheme. Zemo schemes for 4 plus 2 for 6. Up to 10. 2 cards. Shield Agent. This is another reason to stay in alter ego form, I guess. She's got Quick Strike, but we're in alter ego form. And Master Plan is going to find us a side scheme. Next card was Advance. Okay, Disavowed. Place 1 threat here for each shield card in play. That's going to be 5 threat. Very, very rude. Increase the resource cost to play each shield card by 1. Well, you can play Field Agent, and then all points Bulletin plus me thwarting helps me get rid of this. Then I lose to step 1 on the main scheme. So I think I need to leave this in play for a turn, unfortunately. Jesus, horrible, horrible luck. Oh, what if I use this at all? That doesn't really help. I don't have... Well, overpay for Field Agent. 1, 2 to do that. 2 for all points Bulletin. Okay, that does work. Alright, so the cost for Field Agent is 2 because of Disavowed. With special funding, it comes in with an extra counter. Going to go to hero form. So make a mental and a mental to remove a counter here. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Down to 3. All points Bulletin with 3 shield supports. So we'll remove 3 threat. Then thwart this for 2. Pericles is going to stun the Shield Agent to discard it, and then what are we going to do to Zemo? Advance, we lose. Do I stun because that's what's relevant now? Don't hate just stunning, or sorry, don't hate just confusing, because that's more likely to kill me than an extra attack. So I'm going to confuse Zemo. And then use my ability to shift a counter from here to the Pericles. So really weak turn, but a necessary turn. Alright, so 2 on the main scheme. Zemo attacks for 2. I'm just going to take it. 2 plus a boost of 1 is 3. 2 encounter cards. Okay, so aim interference has Incite 1, and then we'll get 1 counter each unless we spend mental resources. If I spend 2 mental resources, I could still play Lady Deadpool this turn. If I spend 3, I could still go find a card, but I really want to scheme. So 2 is a nice number anyways, because I'm going to spend 2 mentals, prevent these 2 from getting placed, so we don't flip any of them. So there's an assault. Just going to take it again for 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So thwart for 2 to not die. Pay 1, 2, 3, 4 for Lady Deadpool. She'll thwart for 2. Let's move a counter from Field Agent to the Pericles. Then use the Pericles to stun Zemo. And get a tough on Lady Deadpool. I think flip down just because I need the hand size. Well, actually maybe not. I've got the stun for now. I guess it's probably safest just to stay here. All right, 2 on the main. Zemo stunned. 2 cards. So Battle of Wits is going to remove Zemo's confusion. And another Battle of Wits. And I can't stop any threat here. So 7 could pay Mentos to prevent it, but I clearly don't have enough, so going to be another loss. Let's maybe try one more time, otherwise this doesn't seem to be working out for me. This does make me wonder if I should just be playing this more straight, like not going for the Pericles. Because, you know, Zemo's not steady or stalwart. You just kind of played him straight up. You could certainly get by, maybe lower your possible upside, but not put so many eggs in one basket. And the Pericles is just insane when you can discard those vulnerable minions, though. So I think this is still probably correct. Now, whether doing this whole pool thing is correct is a completely different story. Might just do the classic Justice Maria Hill build with maybe Monica Chang, Under Surveillance, Skilled Investigator, all the Justice cards we like. But, I mean, some of the opening hands, which I haven't really gotten yet with, you know, multiple triple resources, could give us a kind of upside that Justice wouldn't have. And like we've seen, it's not like I've gotten the luckiest starts in most of these games. That last game was a little more fair. But then I guess my turn 2 was pretty unlucky. Just not able to make a great turn out of that. All right, there's a triple, and we got the Pericles already. So I'll keep that in hand. And look what we got here. Look at what we got here. So we can go Pericles and Professor X would be an interesting turn. Well, I'm definitely going to play Pericles. So if I found just like a 2-cost support, I could play that plus remove a counter from here. Professor X always just so nice. But not the full potential, because I have no good use for exhausting Maria Hill if I play Professor X. If I find support staff... Oh wait, oh, I'm just an idiot. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I just do support staff. I was thinking in my head that it's like, you know, it's a 1 ER play because it's 2 ER but pays back 1. But I forgot that it's like I forgot that drawing it with Maria Hill is like a +1 ER, so I can still do everything. Okay, well, perfect start. We'll just have to see if this aligns now with a villain phase that doesn't like go crazy on the counters here and we just lose that way. Okay, pay 1 for support staff. Pay 1, 2, 3 for Professor X. Confuse the villain. Thwart. And then I would like to go to hero form to take advantage of Professor X blocking for me. I'm going to move 1 counter from support staff to Pericles. And again, I could always move back if I really want that resource next turn for some reason. And end the turn. Okay, 2 threat on the main scheme. Zemo attacks, Professor X blocks, takes 3. 2 encounter cards. Shield Trooper, perfect. And this is going to surge. Okay, what do we have here? 4 threat side scheme. As an additional cost to ready a support, spend 1 resource of any type. When defeated, remove a secret counter from a board member environment. Well, this is just completely phenomenal. So I'm going to go get the Iliad in alter ego form. I've still got completely full health for self-confidence. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. Yep, just looking perfect. So go to alter ego, exhaust, Iliad. So we're still at risk of some cards that can put secret counters on these officers, but we're like maybe 1 turn away from just really being set. Well, that's probably never true because it's heroic, but okay. So pay 6. No, sorry. This is 6. Pay 6, including a triple from self-confidence for the Iliad. Oh, I should have maybe swung. It's fine. I should have maybe swung a counter to support staff, but I'm just going to use it up. 1, 2 for command team. There's more counters to move onto it in the future if I need. All right, so Iliad will remove 4 threat from undermine support. When defeated, I'll remove 1 counter from maybe medical officer. Yep, that's the one that's the least bad to flip, so. If it gets the thing where it gets 2, then I can live with that. Pericles, confuse this guy, stun Zemo. And the turn, advance, not even guaranteed to end the game, so. Ooh, if I could actually set up like Nick next turn too, we'd be golden. All right. Although at some point I need to actually just start clearing counters from these. 2 threat, Zemo is confused. 2 encounter cards. Scientist Supreme, ignorable. And shoot, the Crisis of Infinite Deadpool. It's just when everything was going all right. I still control no pink cards, so that'll be 2 counters. Although, in the scheme of things, that could be drawn there, like Shadow of the Past, or Under Fire, we can live with Dreadpool. Could have Scientist Supreme attack Dreadpool with Headpool. Okay. So I could play Nick plus Field Agent. Just keep those guys loaded for the foreseeable future. The Supreme's attacks are, if I have him attack someone with Headpool, that'd be a pretty large attack. 2 Amplify icons out. It's going to be 3 plus the boost that he draws. I'm looking at Nick here. It's just so much value. And then maybe next turn I go for some more tempo. All right, let's exhaust to get shield support. I could even get government liaison. Yeah, let's do that. Unless I saw it already. Nope. Okay. Let's check what else I've got left. 2 field agents, a command team, 2 command teams. Pay 2 for Government Liaison. Activate it, plus 3 more to play Nick Fury. Nick's going to thwart for 2. After doing that, place 1 all-purpose counter on a shield support. Put 1 on the Pericles. Iliad's going to remove 4 threat from the main scheme. Pericles going to confuse Zemo and confuse the Scientist Supreme. Maria is going to move a counter from Command Team to the Iliad. We'll end the turn. Oh, sorry, that was... No, hold on. Did I screw that up? Oh, did I just forget to flip? Because last turn we were in Alter Ego. Because I removed his confusion. Okay, I just forgot to actually flip up. But this is a hero action, so I had to do that in hero form. All right, 2 on the main scheme. Zemo stunned. Dreadpool hits me for 2. 2 encounter cards. Divided loyalties. So allies got to pay a resource to do something. And an assault. I will just take this one for 2 plus a boost of 2. All right. So we'll use the Iliad to remove 4 threat from here. We'll move 1 secret counter. Let's fully deplete this. So if we get the one that adds 2 to the one with the least, that won't flip over. Counter argument would be if we get one of the aim interference cards. Now there's like 2 that I need to stop from going versus just 1. So this turn I'm looking at Helicarrier plus a counter. Kind of wonder if I should be doing that or just keep doing actual stuff like Helicarrier plus Machine Man. Also got the ability to flip down and get Field Agent. Field Agent works really well with Nick Fury here. Also got Tic-Tac-Toe, who can start healing Nick Fury. Man, I think I gotta skip these again. So I can pay 3 for Helicarrier. Go get Field Agent. Play Field Agent and Tic-Tac-Toe. That's kind of redundant with what I was trying to do. Would be nice to recover as well. So I could just play Helicarrier, Tic-Tac-Toe, and use it. All right, Liaison, +2 to play Helicarrier. So not immediately using Helicarrier, but that's okay. Play Tic-Tac-Toe. Going to spend an energy to move a damage from Nick Fury to this energy icon. Have Nick Thwart for 2. Put a counter on the Iliad. Going to have Maria move a counter from command team to the Pericles. Pericles to stun Baron and confuse Dreadpool. Flip and recover. Gives me a safety net and turns my pool resources back into doubles. All right, 2 on the main scheme. Both these guys confused. Two encounter cards. Okay, Obligation, not that bad. Diplomatic Sanctions got Surge. Battle of Wits. So Zemo schemes. Okay, this could be a really nice opportunity to remove some counters, except I've got all the wrong kinds of resources in my hand. So we'll see what happens. Schemes for 4 plus 2 for 6. So I can spend any number of mentals to prevent it, to prevent threat and remove that many counters. So the Shield Director is a card that I really want to play out of this hand. All Points Bulletin can clear up a lot of that threat. Yeah, I think I need, well, if I spend that, then maybe I'm playing Command Team plus All Points Bulletin. Honestly, that's not that bad, because Command Team is kind of gonna function as a as a Shield Director for 3 turns at least. But this is a pretty efficient way to spend a resource here to prevent a threat and remove a board counter. But the double is too much to pay there. So would put 6 threat on. I'm going to prevent 1. So we get 5 threat. And then I'm going to remove a counter. Still got strength in the deck. I'm just going to remove a counter here. Okay. So I'm going to exhaust to discard this card. Oh, I've actually got, I keep forgetting about, well, not forgetting, but still got these resources to throw around here as well. Not a terrible reinforcements play. It's kind of awkward that if I want to play these two things, I don't have any doubles of the same to remove these, but I'm pretty good on these for now, actually. Kind of regretting that choice. I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, let's pay 2 for command team. So you come in with 4 thanks to special funding. Yep. Oh wait, oh shoot. Let me, okay, I'm not going to spend special funding because that's, yeah, because I'm spend helicarrier and use a helicarrier as an action to reduce the cost of the next card by 1. And then I guess that doesn't need to be paid for with the shield card, but then government liaison to play that, reducing its cost by 1. So I'll just do that because playing reinforcements is worth more than getting an extra counter on there. All right, so then I'll play all points bulletin. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shield supports. So what is the best to do? I think I'm going to do 5 threat. And 1 damage. To Zemo. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's a hero action I needed to flip first. Reinforcements. Choose any number of shield supports with combined printed cost of 6 or less. Place 1 all-purpose counter on each of those. So we'll place 1 on this command team, 1 on this command team, and 1 on government liaison. Use Maria Hill's ability. I'll move the 1 from government liaison onto the Iliad. Nick's going to thwart for 2. Put another counter on Pericles. Could have the Iliad heal me for 3. Or just smack Zemo for 5. At some point this game, I think I will. Well, I'm not avoiding it. Like, not necessary, but it might happen that I will trigger his Force Interrupt, deal him a bunch of damage to remove 3 secret counters from board member cards. But I think I just need to heal 3 actually, because I might take an extra attack here. Okay, I'm going to heal 3 from myself. Pericles will confuse Zemo and stun Dreadpool. And end the turn. The thing about always having them status controlled is that we'll hit every encounter card in the deck. So we'll hit Shadow of the Past at some point. I don't think I'm ready yet to start drawing cards from the envelope. Two threat on the main scheme. Both of them stunned. 3 encounter cards. Okay, Reluctant Foe. This is where we search our collection for a hero whose title does not match a character in play. And I thought a very fitting hero for this, while still keeping it reasonably easy for myself, will be Deadpool. So we still only got 9 health, which is nice. Not the easiest one, that would be Quicksilver, who's also got 1 thwart and 1 attack. But basically this is treated as, or it has villainous, and this is treated as a minion. And just hope we don't get gang upped. There's an advance, hits the confuse. And aim interference. So insight 1. And then it's the physical 1. So I've actually got strength here. Yeah, not much stuff to spend in hand, so I'm going to pay 2 physicals to prevent 2 of these counters from going on. And we'll put 1 on Chief Medical Officer. Okay. Actually kind of a decent turn here. So I'm going to Government Liaison to put a field agent into play. Helicarrier to put a field agent into play. Then I've got All Points Bulletin, now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll do 7 damage to Deadpool and remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Nick is going to attack Deadpool. I'm going to use Field Agent to prevent the consequential damage that he would take. So that's going to put Deadpool to 9, which removes him from the game. And when this is defeated, we also remove Reluctant Foe from the game. And then I'm going to counter up the Iliad. I'm going to use Maria to move the counter from Command Team to the Pericles. Thwart the main scheme for 2. I think flip down. Get some hand size going. Very safe on the main scheme. Let's dome Zemo for 5. Pericles to confuse both of them. If I ever did want tempo now, with the field agents and command team, I could use Nick up to 2 extra times per turn. But there's nothing really to do that for right now. Okay, things about to start getting very exciting. 2 threat on the main scheme. They're both confused. 2 encounter cards. No. Well, I did not fully grapple with this. So that is going to attach to Nick. And it's a minion against us now. Oh well. And then the ends justify the means. Either defeat the minion with the fewest remaining hit points and Baron Zemo schemes, or discard an ally or support you control, remove secret counters equal to its printed resource cost. Well, I'm going to do the second one, because that looks like some free secret counter removal to me. Let's discard this command team. And it's got a printed cost of 2, so we'll remove 2 secret counters. The card is kind of helping me. Let's just do 2 right here. Okie dokie. Well, I think I'll start drawing stuff here now. And these are both triples because I'm at full health. I want to exhaust to draw a card. It's probably my best exhaust this turn, I think. So let's think about what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4 for Agent 13. This can remove a secret counter. This can remove a secret counter. Draw 2, 3 would let me play Professor X. We get the confuse value and the block value. Oh, I've also... Well, Agent 13 can double Helicarrier. Okay, I think I'm doing this for sure. So I'm going to pay 3 and Helicarrier for Agent 13. Let's attack Nick Fury for 1. Don't think I want to prevent this yet. She might get poolized, and then I'll end up wasting these. And then after we attack or thwart, ready a shield support. So ready one with the infinite uses. Yeah, I'm just going to do, okay. I'm definitely searching for something. Let's remind myself what my options are before I actually do it. If I do support staff, that probably fits pretty seamlessly into what I'm trying to do. Field agent is actually the only other option. Yeah, I'm just gonna get, so I'll just get support staff. Let's flip to hero form. I'll government liaison to get support staff into play. So now I still could play Professor X and remove both of these counters. Or I could play Professor X for 3, play Command Team, and remove 1 counter. So either Command Team or an extra counter. I think Command Team. So I'm going to pay 3 for Professor X, confuse Zemo, thwart the main scheme. Helicarrier plus support staff for Command Team. 2 energy to remove this counter, then heal 1 damage from a friendly character. So heal Agent 13, I guess. Okay, so let's move the counter from Command Team to the Iliad, and let's dome Zemo for 5 again. I'm not so high on stunning right now. Oh, maybe I just give myself a tough. Oh, yeah. So Pericles, give myself a tough, and give Dreadpool a stun. Okay, end the turn. And then after I draw up to hand size, I'm going to do the response on the main scheme. So the player phase is ended. So I will place 2 secret counters on a board member environment that has no secret counters on it. So you can pick one of those 2 that's got none on it. So I'll do 2 here. To gain 2 cards from the shield envelope. 1 card if it were campaign mode. But... all right. Voila, 2 cards. All right, I'm just gonna set these aside for now to not take up space, but we got a good look at them there. But I will not advance yet to make an accusation. So 2 threat there. Zemo attacks. Professor X is gonna block. Takes him out. Dreadpool is stunned. 2 encounter cards. Aim interference of the energy variety. It's got Insight 1. I've got 1 field agent in hand. I've got support staff. So I think I'll still just pay as much as I can here. 1, 2. And so there's 1 that I can't stop, so I'll let 1 get on Chief Surveillance Officer. And there we go, disavowed. So, place 1 threat here for each shield card in play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is going to be 13. Yep, okay. Luckily, I have a lot of thwarting that I can do. So I'm thinking Nick Fury Sr. All right, I'll spend Helicarrier and then use the action on Government Liaison, plus paying 2 more resources. I'm going to play Nick. Let's just make sure I have 13 without doing the 3-threat response. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So 2 plus 2 for Nick. I'm going to draw 2. Oh. Oh. Well, there's Shield Director. Which is always nice to play. Ah, shoot, this has to cost 1 more. Okay, how do I want to resolve that? I mean, obviously, bad that I know what I drew, so. One option is to just say I spent my whole hand for it. Another option, would I have thwarted it down even without Nick Fury Sr.? Probably not. So I'm gonna just say I spent everything from hand. But I'll still do the draw 2 mode. Sorry, that's a little bit. I mean, I'm not being so dishonest with it, but there's just no super honest way to do it since I know what I drew. At least this keeps all my decisions the same, right? All right, so Iliad to remove 4 threat. Maria to remove 2. So now we're down to 13 down to 7. Nick to remove 2. Agent 13 to remove 2. And can ready something. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Sure. We'll ready Helicarrier. All right, command team to ready Agent 13. Thwart this for 2, down to 1. Gonna ready support staff. Command team, Nick Fury Sr., thwart, disavowed. Hopefully we don't have to see that guy for a little while again. I could have been using field agents here, I suppose. Not a huge deal. So I'm going to go helicarrier. Sorry, no. I'm going to use Maria. Let's move a field agent. No, let's do this. Let's move a field agent to support staff. I'm going to pay 2 for shield director. Double confidence, self-confidence is going to clear a counter from here. We'll deal 2 damage to an enemy. Shield director, put a counter on the Pericles. Actually don't think I'm using Pericles here, because I've got Nick, who's very able to block. But then that means Dreadpool gets to attack. I think that's okay. How many extra attacks you got in there, Zemo? Assault. Still got an assault, still got a gang up. Okay, if the Dreadpool hits my tough, it's not that big of a deal. Then I'm kind of exposed for another attack. Yeah, I'll just use the Pericles. Stun them both. So in that case, do I even go to Alter Ego? No, I don't think so. End the turn, and now am I going to do the main scheme again? I've got Zemo in range to kill him next turn. Or kill him once, you know. Well, it's right, it's after the player phase ends, so I can see what I draw. Might depend on the number of mental resources I have, because aim interference is still in there. If I'm in hero form, I can't get hit by the one that puts 2 threat on, or 2 secret counters on 1. Alright, I might go for it here, I might not. Not go to the accusation, but just get some counters. Ooh, even drew Genius. Oh, and an all points bulletin. Yeah, I'm going to put 2 counters on Chief Medical Officer and get 2 more cards. Got money and blackmail to go along with authority and travel. All right, 2 threat on the main scheme. These guys are stunned. 2 encounter cards. Shield Trooper, totally fine. And what do you know, there's an assault. This nice stroke of luck. So Nick Fury Sr. is going to block, although we did lose the regeneration ray, so that is a bummer. But everything is still totally fine. Okay, I've been going full at it since that early string of losses, so I'm going to take a little break, shuffle when I get back. Okay, back at it here. Do a little shuffle so you know I'm not doing anything sneaky. So with this scenario, we don't just want to advance and make our accusation as soon as possible, because the unmasked Zemo hits like crazy. So we want to be well protected by the time that comes up. If we can also get to where we'll get the triple physical or the triple energy in hand when that happens, would also be ideal, but might be hard to engineer that. But I was thinking about this here, and where I actually don't think this is a great turn to advance potentially, because I might want like another ally who's ready to block and attack. The tough is perfect for blocking an attack from unmasked Zemo, but if we get another attack, it would I mean, we've got Agent 13 who could block, but Agent 13 also represents a lot of damage to burst down that final stage. So, okay, I think the turn here is relatively easy, though. I've got all points bulletin to clean up a bunch of stuff. And then maybe remove a counter or two. So, right, so this is probably going to go towards that. I was thinking about flipping down. I could go get, I can go get Sky Destroyer. Haven't seen Sky Destroyer yet. It would be just something to spend resources on if I wanted to. I guess I wouldn't be able to spend Government Liaison on it because that's a hero action. Okay, well, I'm just going to go for this, though. I'm going to do 2 mental resources, remove a counter from here, and remove 2 threat from a scheme. Yeah, I think I would go to Alter Ego. Let's check. So there's 1 Battle of Wits, 2 Battle of Wits, 1 advance. So there's still 1 advance in there. If I flip down, it'll go up to 2. I think Dreadpool's gonna be dead for this turn. So it'll go up to 2, he's confused. Advance would put it to 6 plus a boost. So really not scary. I don't remember exactly if there's another encounter card that can add threat. Let's just, okay, I'm going to Shield Director, put a counter on Iliad. All right, let's do all points bulletin. Helicarrier plus the hard call. For all points bulletin, this is an upgrade. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I would like to do 3 to Dreadpool. So it's defeated, it's just dealt to us. 3 to Zemo, and 3 threat off the main scheme. So when he would be defeated, instead we reset the hit points to 16 and remove 3 counters from board member environments. Let's just do 1, 2, 3. So if I reinforcements, I can load up 4 counters. Or I could go get Sky Destroyer, or I'd have to spend support staff. I'm running a little bit dry on my counters anyways. So I'm going to go reinforcements. Yep. Pay 1 for reinforcements. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cost worth of supports. I guess Maria Hill really isn't doing much, is she? If there's a field agent left, I guess I could grab that and play it. Nope, that's gone. And command team is gone. So maybe I just like attack for 1. Well, I literally don't think there's anything else to do, so I'm going to attack for 1. Unless I wanted to like find Sky Destroyer and get it out of my deck because I don't want to play it. Which is kind of true, to be honest. Okay, yeah. Use Maria's ability. Let's move a counter from let's do it from field agent. From here to Pericles. Let's use the Pericles. We'll stun the Shield Trooper and stun Zemo. Gonna flip down. Search. Get Sky Destroyer. Ooh, Life Model Decoy would also be a good insurance thing to help me flip. It's not like I have a ton of damage if I, well, playing for 2 turns anyway, so. It's probably not even a good card in this matchup at all, because damage to Zemo isn't like a huge priority until this very final stage, which hopefully only lasts 2 turns at most. Okay, but I'm gonna discard that end of turn. Save the Iliad. I think we want to do we want to do a really big burst at the end if we can. Oh, also we can, I mean, the next version of Zemo is steady, not stalwart, so I might just end up double stunning him, and that'll make me safe enough to advance. Actually, that sounds pretty good. But not yet. Okay, Lady Deadpool represents a decent amount of attacking damage as well. So 2 threat on the main scheme. Zemo is confused. Okay, so we know we got Dreadpool. The mental aim interference. So insight 1. Ooh, I've got no mentals in hand. Nothing that I'm desperate to stop. But it might be worth a support staff anyways. Yeah, I'm going to do 1 support staff to prevent 1. And then let's put this up to 2 and this up to 1. Exhaustion surges into caught off guard. I think this tic-tac-toe has ended up pretty useless. Yeah, let's get rid of this tic-tac-toe. It is pretty redundant with these field agents. So possibly another card that doesn't really deserve its spot. But hey, to discard 2 an encounter card makes for a very weak encounter card. Alrighty. Oh wait, I guess, what am I talking about? Well, this Zemo can only ever be stunned up to once, so by the time we get to the next Zemo, there won't be any way to double stun him. So that was crazy talk. Okay, let's just go to hero form. So let's think about this. Double reinforcements. So I can load up the Iliad like crazy. Next stage of Zemo has 22 health. So that's like 4 Iliads plus 2 attacks from Agent 13. And I've got 1, 2, 3 uses of Agent 13, which means 4 uses of Iliad, which would be 22 damage all by itself. So assuming I can get enough counters on, which I can with honestly just moving a counter or playing 1 reinforcements and using Shield Director, that makes me set. Except for the fact of whatever other encounter card shenanigans might come. But I don't think there's too much I'm worried about. Like, I don't remember if there's any like guard minions that I'm worried about. I don't think so. We know there's an advance. Advance is probably the scariest because it would just because when we go to after we do the accusation, we flip over the mole. If it had counters on it, those counters become threat, and advance could just kill us right away. So I pay 2 for life model decoy. We get rid of 1 counter here. I've got 1 reinforcement. I mean, this is going to have plenty of counters. That's not the problem. Just worried about advance. Like if the chief medical officer gets flipped, okay, I just need to read what happens. So flip the mole, place 1 threat here for each secret counter on each board member attachment. So the attachment is the one that's actually attached. So that could get as many as 2. So it would go 1, 2, 3, 4 from step 1. Advance would put it to 8 plus either 2 boosts or plus putting 2 counters on something. Which there would be at least 1 of these to put 2 counters on. And then I have no so 4 plus a boost shouldn't end it. Then I'm a little scared of what the counters looks like there. But it might be okay. So I mean, I think it's very reasonable to win next turn. But what am I waiting for if I am waiting a turn? And basically I'd be waiting to spend some more effort reducing the counters here. Wish I remembered these cards a little better to know what the threat of counters is. There's that 1 quick strike minion. Have I seen any of that yet? No, I haven't. There's 2 copies of that quick strike minion who adds a counter when it attacks or when it's defeated. That would still only add 1, which would be safe. What if I don't reinforcements, but I remove another counter from here? I think that actually works. Okay. Here we go. Physical. Counter here. 2 damage to an enemy, that's not going to matter. Oh, I guess we'll hit Dreadpool. That matters. Counter up the Iliad. Helicarrier +1 for life model decoy. Agent 13 attacks Dreadpool. I'm going to field agent to reduce the consequential. After that, I'm going to ready support staff. Spend this as an energy. Spend this energy to remove 1 from here. Heal 1 damage from a friendly character. I could command team here to reinforcements another counter on the Iliad. Or I could just Maria Hill. I'm just gonna Maria Hill a counter from oh, I guess this is slightly better. I'm gonna have plenty on here. Command team to ready Agent 13. Oh, if I get poolized, that's gonna be the disaster, huh? If I get poolized, that's the disaster. That is the disaster. Okay. Let's try to avoid poolized, I guess. Attack for 1. Ready helicarrier. Helicarrier to play reinforcements. I know I said Maria, but I don't think I actually... No, that was just command team. I don't think I actually used Maria yet. But anyways, reinforcements will go... Yeah, we'll just get the Mac. We'll just get a crap ton of counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm gonna Maria. I don't think I did that yet. Probably won't matter if I didn't. And end the turn. Okay, go through the deck. No ally hand is not what I want in case we don't win this turn. All right, end of the player phase. I will put 2, and now let's see here. Probably, I mean, there's probably a good chance with all of them. All right, so the motive is the yellow, and the opportunity is the purple. So 1 in 3 chance it's the surveillance officer, 2 in 3 chance it's the tactical officer. So I'd rather put the 2 secret counters on, do I want it on the thing that flips, that turns into threat? Or do I want it on the one that doesn't flip? Still gives me some, I think I'd rather just not have it be threat. So it's more likely that it's the tactical officer. I'm going to put it on the surveillance officer. To draw the final 2 cards. Okay. So it was yellow and purple, so we got pink for the last one, so it's this line here, Chief Tactical Officer. Chief Tactical Officer with pink, yellow, and purple is the formal accusation. And just make sure I do all this right. make an accusation, which I've done. All right, so reveal. Hey, what do you know? I was correct. So we'll advance to 3A. Flip to unmasked. Oh, we never even drew the sword as a encounter card. Find his sword. Let's see, what am I scared of? I'm scared of Underfire. The Shield Agent, those are the ones that can add counters to stuff. Pool Eyes, of course. Ends justify means, not really scared of that. That doesn't matter. Gang up, I guess, maybe, if I get like attacked twice or something. Might make me lose Agent 13. Okay. Okay, so when revealed, find the mole, which was the tactical officer. Flip it to attachment side. So +1 attack, after a secret is placed there, deal 2 damage to a friendly character. Place a threat here for each secret counter on each attachment, but which is 0. And now we have our villain phase. So step 1, 2 threat here. So Zemo is stunned, but only stunned once, so he'll still attack. And yep, just gonna let this hit the tough. Forced interrupt, when he activates, we either get 2 secret counters or give him an additional boost. So we'll always give him an additional boost, essentially. So attacking for 5 plus 2 boosts into my tough. There's Underfire gone, but still not poolized. Hits my tough. And okay, hopefully neither of these 2 are poolized. And we've got it made. So there's Dreadpool, of course. Shadow of the Past. So if we win this turn, obviously not a problem. But if we don't, then it might be. So I've got Controlled Innocence here. I'm gonna not have this on camera, but if there's ever a controlled minion, it's 1/1 to everything. I'll pull it back in if it's relevant, but it's rather unlikely that we actually get a controlled minion. I guess it comes from Diabolical Discs. Yeah, I guess I should still... No, okay. I'll just kind of put it there. All right, let's keep going. Not poolized. So it's got Quick Strike, so it's going to attack for 1. Just going to take it. But then when it activates, we add 1 secret counter to the board member environment with the fewest secret counters. So we put 1 there. And then please don't be poolized. Yes. So it's going to Quick Strike again. And then put a secret counter on who's ever got the least. So whichever one we pick will go to 3. So I'm just going to pick Medical Officer. It goes to 3, so it'll flip. But I think we should have it in the bag now. Quick strike, vulnerable, no guard. Nothing when he enters play, just when he attacks. Cool beans. Oh, never set this guy to 22. So let's put a counter on here just to be sure. 5 damage to Zemo. Agent 13 attacks for 1. We'll reduce the consequential by 1. And after attacking, we'll ready a shield support. Hit him for 5. Command team to ready Agent 13. Attack for 1. Field agent to reduce the consequential. Ready the Iliad. Iliad for 5. Do it one more time. Command team, Agent 13. Attack for 1. Ready the Iliad. And use the Iliad for 5. Sweet. Where was the poolized here? Okay, well, I guess we shuffled anyways, so we don't really know how close it was when we dealt our encounter cards. But sweet clutch ending there. Could have possibly stalled it on longer, just to wait till I had a little more clearance on everything, or at least to have maybe a second ally, so that if I did draw poolized, that could have gotten taken instead of Agent 13. That could have been another way to go about it. But long video already, so let's get to our conclusion, and glad it turned out all right. Kind of a funny sequence of games there. The first few, some really unlucky turn that got us off to a bad start, but then, what did I say? As soon as we get a window where we've got a few turns to get some stuff in, right, we had the perfect turn 1 this game. I mean, absolutely perfect. 2 triple resources to play the Pericles, and then I played something else. I think I played the Government Liaison. So that all went perfectly. Never got super burned by having to flip one of these prematurely, which it's not like there's ways to play around it, and like they give you ways to spend resources to prevent stuff from happening. So like it's very rarely guaranteed that you have to put counters on when you don't want to. But we avoided some of the worst case scenario ways to do that. What is the card I'm thinking of? Yeah, this might makes right. We never drew. That's one of the tough, tricky ones in Alter Ego, where we automatically put 2 secret counters on without wait to prevent it. So that's kind of the rough one. As for the deck, yeah, I mean, the triple resources was massive on that first turn. I used it a few other times throughout the game, of course, keeping a pretty full health total. So I like the pool a lot there. I mean, that's easily the strongest part of the pool aspect, is those triple resources. But then Maria Hill, being a hero who can play cards from other aspects, still lets her do the typical Maria Hill shenanigans. So it's not like we were so restricted by the pool aspect as we are sometimes with the other characters. So I hope you enjoyed that game. My unique working backwards through the scenarios this time, just because of how I want to do them in the order of release. But up next, in that spirit, should be doing Nick Fury versus the Thunderbolts. So hope you'll join me for that one. And thanks for watching. See you next time.